Hi, let's talk about music. I'm sorry, I don't know why I fucking ill. Anyways, we're getting into part 2 of V3, Vocaloid V3. And this is the generation where I was attached at the hip to Vocaloid. I was there for a lot of different debuts, and it was an amazing time for me. This is part 2, like I said, so if you haven't watched the part 1, I suggest you go get to it. That part I talk more what V3 is and what the generation accomplished. But if you don't know what Vocaloid is, I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of it. Sorry. Vocaloid is a vocal synthesizer tool that is pretty much like an instrument. It is something that you use to interject into your music making, just like a guitar or like a saxophone, whatever. They're voice banks that are available for pay. I don't want to say it like that. You're able to buy them, and that they're able to produce different sounding voices or different sounding sounds to sing for you. And I had a hyperfixation on these in high school, which I never ever touched Vocaloid like physically, and I never really had the talent to make music. So yeah, I just found this really weird thing to be interested in. But you know, let's get into it. I'm just gonna be going over the next set on my list. On part 1, I've talked about the first half of V3 because there are a lot of voice banks, but let's get into the next part where I go over the next ones. Hopefully I can squeeze all of them in here, because there are, from where I stopped at, there are a lot more. So yeah. Now, the next voice bank that I'm going to be talking about is Gallico, and also Gallico is, I believe, a fan-made Vocaloid. I don't know if her voice was fan-made, but her concept and her character design was fan-made. I believe there was a contest, and someone created Gallico, and they submitted her art to whatever they were doing or whatnot, and she became a real Vocaloid, which was... One thing I think about Vocaloid is that Vocaloid really has like integrated the fans into the culture. Which I kind of appreciate in a way, because sometimes they just choose random artists or random fans to, you know, pick up on, and they'll be like, hey, do you want to, we're gonna add this into our game, or add this into our software, or add this into a lore, you know? So I think that's one thing that's really been cool about Vocaloid. As for Gallico's sound, she's not really for me. She's not my favorite of the voice banks. Definitely not. Like I said in the last part, my favorite voice bank from V3, as of so far on the list, was Ia. So Gallico kind of has... I don't know why, when I think of her voice, I think it's just like popcorn. I don't know why. Or like installation. That's not what she sounds like. She sounds good. Don't go off what I'm describing her. That's what I think of when I think of her. Next one would be VY2 V3. I'm sorry, that's a mouthful. But he would be the male counterpart to VY1 V3. I had to think about that heavily. Now, I'm not sure at what part they receive makeovers, but I believe at this point, or either in V4, they receive an actual physical character that is noted to be what they look like. Because before, they never had faces. They were just character concepts. And I believe his name is Yuki. I'm gonna have to go look it up. I really didn't look up from this last video, but I believe his name is Yuki. But he is alright. And I'm probably gonna show, if there's like art of him, I'm gonna put up like right here. But yeah, he was. One thing I think there was a search for like his voice bank. I'm not too sure. I know there was some type of like change in his voice bank, because I think either the kid got older and they re-recorded some of his because I think originally it was a 13-year-old boy who recorded for his voice bank, and I think the kid got older and his voice bank changed like substantially. I'm going off of like really like raw basic knowledge from my brain. Like I'm picking this stuff out. I don't remember all the way, but you know, yeah. Next up will be our favorite horror girl lolly character, Mayu, and she is based off the concept of horror, and she's kind of just like a dark Lolita type of looking Vocaloid. She's not one of my favorite Vocaloids. She definitely is interesting. She has a couple of different voice banks. I think they're more creepy oriented. I'm not all that sure to her. I'm not really familiar with Mayu, but she's cool. Next up will be a Ivana, and Ivana, I believe, was a very highly celebrated English Vocaloid, and she is one of the better English Vocaloid. What am I trying to say? She is one of the better English voice banks out of the female range. Like I said, earlier release was Oliver, and he is one of the better male voice banks of the English ones. So Ivana was highly celebrated for like a little bit when she was released because she is a very high quality English voice bank. Next up, Kaito will receive a V3 update. Like I said before, he did get updated through Vocaloid V2, but it was never like a re-recording of his vocals. He would just be updated with the, you know, series. But this is his official re-recording of his append, and V3 would be where he would go into different tones and different dark sounding whispers and whatnot. Like he would be more built upon. They would redo a re-recording for his vocals. Now the next one up is a little bit of an odd concept, and I kind of wish they would have built upon them a little bit more, because I feel like they don't get a lot of love at all. And this is the next one, which is called Zola Project. And if you're wondering what Zola Project is Zola Project is a group of 3 voice banks released to be like a little boy band in Vocaloid, and the names of the Vocaloids are Kyo, Yu, and Will, and they're all very like they're meant to work with each other. They're not very strong standout voice banks. That's also what we would get in this generation, is a lot of voice banks that are meant to be accompanied with one another. And my favorite would be Will, mainly just because of his design. But they have a very artistic like look to them, and they're very just like unique. I think that's a very cool concept to make like a boy group of Vocaloids. So yeah, Zola Project. Yan He would be another Chinese Vocaloid. I don't know much. That's one I really do not know much about. I didn't even see her release, to be honest with you. But I know she accompanied Luo. I don't believe I think they're from the same company, because different companies release Vocaloids, but I believe she's from the same company, and her name is Yan He. So yeah. Next one up would be a male Vocaloid named Yohioloid. Now Yohioloid, I believe, is made after a Japanese singer named Yohio, and I don't know much about him, but I believe he's like to represent visual K, or like, you know, like he fits different concepts. Like he does like Lolita concepts and whatnot. So Vocaloid was a very like, it reached out everywhere for like music concepts. So it was very cool. But Yohio is the voice writer behind Yohio Lloyd. So yeah. He also has very similar vocals to Udatane Pico. Miku will receive an append, so another update for V3. So yay. Maka would be the third Spanish voice bank released, and she would be, for Maka, she would be very built upon. Like she would be very anticipated, because her art, I believe, got leaked before she ever got released. And that's also a lot of things for Vocaloids. Sometimes their art will get like leaked into the community, and they're like, oh my god, there's speculation, and one of her arts was released, and so they knew of Maka before she ever even came into production. And I also believe she was made by a fan in Mexico. I'm not too sure. I think she is made by produced from she was hand selected to produce her voice bank. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to have to do a part 3. I cannot fucking believe it. Like literally, there are so many Vocaloids, and I have so much to say about them. But we're gonna do a part 3. So this is gonna be part 3 to our journey of V3. See you in the next one.